Hey, good morning. Good morning to everyone who's joined us, and welcome to our October Mentor Deep Dive. Thanks so much for joining us today to learn about converting leads into customers. Such an important topic. I think we can all agree that without customers, we're going to struggle to keep our businesses running. But I think that the idea of online marketing and lead gen can sometimes feel a little bit intimidating. So it is really great to have Angie here to break this down for us. She's really keen to answer lots of questions today, so we're really excited to have you guys engaging. For those who haven't met me, my name's Bethany Scott, and I am the community manager at Rarebirds. So I get to help deliver lots of our free webinars and educational programs. I'm also the one to talk to if you want to share anything in our newsletters or on our socials, as well as if you're interested in actually running a webinar. So please get in touch with me if you'd like to talk about any of those kind of things. Before I introduce you to our lovely speaker, I want to acknowledge and pay respect to the past, present, and future traditional custodians and elders of the nations on which we stand, and to extend a special welcome to any First Nations people in our audience today. Feel free to use the chat box to share where you're listening in from if you'd like to do so. There's also our Q&A function next to the chat tab, so please pop in any questions you have there as we move along. I know Angie will be keeping an eye out for these along with myself. So for those of you who are new to the Rarebirds community, let me just tell you a little bit about us. We've been around for over 7 years now, and our mission is to create, support, and promote diverse and inclusive workplaces where opportunities in entrepreneurship and leadership exist equally for everyone. We are probably best known for our mentoring programs, where we match emerging leaders in small businesses as well as corporates with high quality mentors, but we also offer a range of educational masterclasses like this one, and lots of online programs, online and in-person events, and opportunities for people to build their networks in that way as well. If you would like to learn more about becoming a mentor or a mentee, please get in touch with me anytime. I will put my email address in the chat so you can contact me directly. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today the very talented and warm and enthusiastic Angie Martin. Now, Angie is going to talk you through a little bit about herself, so I won't go into too much detail, but it's so wonderful to have you here with us today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be able to be here and to discuss this topic. It's something that I think is really important to have amazing business owners such as yourself to be able to learn more about and also prioritize. So thank you for everyone attending. I know this isn't a sexy topic, but by the end of today's session, you are going to think it is. So thank you so much, the Rarebirds community, for inviting me and for putting up with my accent all day today. It's going to be great. Awesome. So just a bit of a disclaimer today. I had a bit of an oopsie doopsie fall at the beginning of this month during a wellness getaway. And I'm currently in the process of healing up from a concussion and whiplash. So if I accidentally say the wrong word or have to say something twice because I said something wrong the first times, I deeply apologize for this in advance. Sometimes my brain just goes a bit slower than my mouth does at the moment, but we're still going to have a heap of fun today. So I'm really excited about it. Also, I do webinars all the time. I love them. I think it's the best way for business owners to continually grow, upskill, and learn. So before we actually get going, what I would love for everyone to do is just to take about a minute to write down what your goals are and what your questions are for this session so that we know what you need to get out of this session to make the most of your time, because we're all busy. So I really appreciate you spending your time, scheduling out time to be here. So please make sure that you do write any questions in the Q&A, and also feel free to let us know what your main goal out of attending the session is. So if I don't actually bring it up today in my slides, we can go through them and make sure that we get them covered by the end of the session for you. Awesome. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? It's going to be an awesome day. We are going to be discussing the 6 steps to turning leads into customers. Customers, clients, overall consumers. Throughout today, I'm going to be using the word consumers, customers, and clients because I know there's a few product-based businesses here and service-based businesses. For the purpose of this presentation, let's just all say they're all the same thing so that you know that no matter if I'm saying clients or customers, it's who you want to attract. I'm also going to be using the word leads quite a bit during this webinar. For the purpose of this webinar as well, just think of leads as people you want to attend this session. People who you, not attend this session, first brain fart. People who you want to attract to your business to become clients and consumers. Just that way you know what I mean when I'm saying leads. Now, what do I mean by turning leads into clients or consumers? What I mean by that is, for the purpose of this webinar today, we are going to be going in and talking to you about how you can streamline, automate, and perfect your lead generation activities to make sure that you can have an easy to follow strategy that continually can be repeated over and over and over again every single time you are looking to bring on new leads in whatever format that you're looking at doing it. I'm going to be talking about how you can optimize your sales, campaigns, processes, and everything to organically attract new leads into your business without having to depend on pay-per-click ads, social media. You can actually own your entire communication and entire lead generation pool through what we're going to be talking today. Specifically, we are going to be covering topics such as what is lead generation, what is a lead magnet, what is lead magnet optimization, why is it important? We're going to go through the 6 steps to creating an optimized lead magnet. And then most importantly, we're going to talk to you about the steps to implementation. Because if you attend webinars as often as I do, learning all this stuff is great. But if you don't know how to actually implement it, you're not going to get very far. So we're going to spend some special time on actually helping and making sure that you can implement it today. Now, for the implementation process, I have already included in the little chat box a little message to you guys. What we have done for the purpose of this presentation is we have actually uploaded in your handout section a resource that you can download and go through along with me to make the most of this session. This is an exclusive handout that we have created for today's session. It's not even live on our website yet. Make sure you download it. Only you guys are getting it. It's not getting live until later on in the year, so make sure that you utilize it. It's pretty handy. Now, first things first, what is lead generation? It's something that professionals like myself, and I'm going to explain who I am in a little bit, professionals like myself talk about all the time. It's something that kind of goes hand in hand with growing businesses, but very few people actually know what lead generation is and how it directly helps the growth of your business. And so many of my clients, when I bring them on board, they actually feel so embarrassed to ask these questions. So throughout today, I'm going to answer some really simple questions, and that's because I know a couple of you have these questions, and that's perfectly fine, because if you were doing a webinar today on what you are an expert in, I would have silly questions, because they're not silly, they are real questions. So simply put, lead generation is just how you create leads. It's how you gather people who are interested in becoming a consumer, client, or customer for your business. A lot of businesses and business owners make the massive mistake of trying to market to everyone. It's what you do, right? You go on social media and then you market to everyone, try and get as much of a reach as possible, because then someone will buy. You can do that. It does work sometimes, but you're missing out on a lot of opportunity of having a really refined sales strategy that will get you the right clients that you actually want. So what happens is, because you just kind of throw everything out there, you get a couple leads, you get a couple clients, but you don't maximize it. So what we're going to do, and what lead generation actually does, is it helps to create a focus of attracting the right customers and clients to your business to ultimately purchase from you and become the most loyal clients you will ever have. This process of attracting people and converting them is something that isn't easy. So as I'm going through this and discussing things, please feel free to ask questions, because even though I know what it means, and even though it might seem simple to me, again, I am an expert in this field. I did the math the other day, I have spent something like 17 years on this one topic. You not being able to do this and know this right away is completely understandable. It's one of those things that I love living in a house, like I'm sure you do. I've lived in a house my whole life, but I could never just willy-nilly start to build one. So it's one of those things that as we talk through things, I'm going to do it a bit slow, and I'm going to use some terminology. If there's any terminology you aren't sure about, please ask the questions and I'll go through it, because lead generation can be a lot of fun. Now, I discussed it a little bit, but the main purpose of having a true lead generation campaign is it's pretty simple. It's to create credible leads for your business and to keep them coming back, because a lead who comes back to work with you is cheaper than procuring a new lead, which is something really important to remember. So lead generation basically helps build your brand awareness, helps provide free value added information to show that you are an expert in your field. It helps you provide a service that has a gap within your market. It helps to promote your expertise, and it helps to create automated sales. And this is something that's really, really important. We are so busy. We have family lives, we have friends, we have businesses. We are trying to build our empires while also trying to take care of our wellness, take care of ourselves. There's only so many hours in the day. So if you can automate your lead generation and automate your sales closing, your life is just completely going to change. And I'm going to show you how to do that, because I do it myself all the time. Now, when talking about leads themselves, there are two different kinds of lead generation. And in this session, we are only going to be talking about one. The two lead options, though, are inbound and outbound. Pretty pretty self-explanatory, right? Outbound is lead generation that you have to go out and get. So lead generation such as direct mail, advertising, doing the thing that all business owners hate doing, cold calling, random email marketing. I don't know about you, but I'm really active on LinkedIn. I get about 10 to 15 random people doing outbound marketing to me on a daily basis, messaging me on LinkedIn a pitch or a deal or an offer. That is outbound marketing. What we're going to be doing today is talking about inbound marketing. Now, inbound marketing I love so much because it is something that if you get a lead from inbound marketing, they have specifically asked for you to help them with a question or a problem they have. It takes the stress out of knowing that you're cold calling someone and asking for work from them or asking for them to buy from you. Inbound marketing are people coming in, voluntarily coming into your business, interested in what you can offer, and it is now your responsibility to help them in their problem. It takes a lot of the scary selling aspect out of it, which is why I love it so much. Some examples of inbound marketing include blog articles, SEO, which for those of you who might not know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization, social media, organic social media, and so many other things. Specifically, what we're going to be talking about, which is lead magnets. Now, why am I talking to you about lead magnets and how you can turn leads into consumers today? Who am I? Besides the fact that my name is Angie Martin, which was explained earlier, who actually am I and why am I spending the day talking to you about this topic? It's an excellent question, and I love answering it because this is the part where I can share a little bit about my journey and you guys can get to know me a little bit more, because I hate going into webinars and not really knowing the person behind who you're actually learning from. It makes it really difficult, I find. So most importantly, I'm just like you. I'm a business owner. I created my first business when I was 12 years old. And yes, I did say 12 years old. I created my first charity when I was 15 years old. And I created my passion project clothing brand, which I am wearing today, of course, Pair Collections, at the age of 29. Obviously, I've been in the realm of building businesses for over half my life. What's more, I have also assisted in the creation and growth of multiple other businesses, both where I'm from and here in Australia, by implementing my digital marketing, social media management, sales mastery, and business development skills. As you may have guessed, I am not Australian. Although my accent is quite muddled after traveling for over half my life as well, I still say out, about, and beg. Can you guess where I'm from? I'm from London, Ontario, Canada. And although I have lived in Australia now for over 10 years, I swear my accent in some manner has gotten worse. So if there is any funny Canadian accent bits that come out today, you're welcome. Have a little giggle. Now, why did I come to Australia? It's a big flight. I don't know if anyone has ever traveled from Toronto, which is where I'm very close to where I'm from, to, I used to live in Melbourne. Now I don't, but Toronto to Melbourne. It's a massive flight and I love flying, but for those who don't love flying, it's not an enjoyable flight because it's so long. I moved to Melbourne over 10 years ago to grow my knowledge base and my career. It was my goal. The goal originally to be perfectly honest, was to be in Melbourne for a year and then move to Florence because who wouldn't want to move to Florence? It's beautiful. Fell in love with Melbourne, fell in love with Australia, and I haven't left since. Now I live in Benora Point, just south of the Gold Coast border, because the weather's a bit nicer up here than Melbourne. Melbourne's still my favorite place in the world. However, now I go and travel there all the time instead of living there because I have arthritis and the cold doesn't agree with me, which is ironic because I am Canadian, I'm aware. Now, being passionate about helping others succeed in their professional and personal lives, I founded the Growth Manager, which is why I'm here. I founded the Growth Manager post-COVID to help business owners like you accomplish your goals, because I saw a gap in the market where my fellow business owners that I was friends with, I was talking with, they needed extra help, and they needed it on a larger scale than me working one-on-one with businesses, focusing on building their business and then moving on. I needed help more maximum levels, which is why I'm here today. I love being able to share my knowledge about lead generation and how you can optimize your actual leads coming into your business without you specifically having to always be online, because you have to stop. You have to prioritize your health. You have to live. If you can't live, what's the point of owning and running your own business? So that is why we are going to be discussing inbound marketing and inbound sales to attract leads into your business through value-added information. That is basically what a lead magnet is and what we're going to be discussing today. If you haven't heard of the term lead magnets, I can almost guarantee you have used them yourself and you have signed up to them multiple times. In fact, I can guarantee you have done this because you are attending this webinar. This is a lead magnet, guys. Just to break it to you, this is a free webinar that 2 businesses are hosting, Rare Birds and the Growth Manager, which is me. They're amazing and they are so influential and really make a difference for your community. Now, let's review exactly what a lead magnet is. At its core, it is anything that provides value in exchange for a lead's contact information. So when you guys registered, you put your name and you put your email address. That is a lead magnet. Congratulations. The primary goal of a lead magnet is to maximize the number of targeted leads you can get in exchange for giving something to your community, which is why I am so in love with lead magnets, because one of my base values is empowering business owners to live the life of their dreams through their business, and creating community and helping support the community, which is why I love inspiring Rare Birds so much, because we align so amazingly for both of those values. This is also why lead magnets work so well. You are able to give something in return to getting a qualified leads information. It's the best way that you can directly get the kind of leads you're looking for, while offering some amazing free stuff that is going to dramatically impact your community. Now, let's go through why you should use lead magnets, because if I haven't already convinced you, I really want to get this through with how important this lead magnet thing is. When you are trying to grow your business, you want to make sure that you can increase your brand awareness and become a household name for your industry as soon as possible. You need leads to make sales. You need to convert those leads to make money. You need to promote and showcase what you're actually offering your community, whether it's a product or it's a service. And most importantly, you need to build relationships. You need to build a community based on the incredible information you can offer. You need to be able to do that, or else people aren't going to care about your brand. They aren't going to care about your business, and they're just going to go with someone else. You need to have that connection and immediately show that you're able to support your community. Lead magnets do all of those things, which is pretty awesome. And most importantly, they do all of those things in an automated form. Now, as I said, you have all most likely, well, no, you have all because you're attending this session. You have all most likely, though, besides this session, downloaded or used a lead magnet in some shape or form. So what I thought I would do is just very quickly list off a whole heap of different lead magnets. And what I would like you to do is actually write down which lead magnets you can go, oh yeah, I have used this. And then after this session, I want you to go in and go, why did you get that lead magnet from that business? What attracted you to that lead magnet? What was it specifically helping to support you in? Just a fun little exercise to really help you show how impactful lead magnets can be. Are you ready? Webinars, mini guides, industry reports, ebooks, templates, free samples. Now, free samples is more for product-based businesses. Training videos, case studies, quizzes, surveys, polls, reference lists or resource lists, toolkits, cheat sheets, checklists, calendars, free shipping, discount, and so many more. How many of you have actually used some of those lead magnets? Can we just have a quick poll?
Hey, Angie, I can get that poll going. If
Yeah.
you keep talking, and I'll pop it into a poll format.
Yeah, that would be amazing because I would just be so interested on how many people have actually done some of those.
All right, I'll get it going.
Amazing. Thank you, Bethany. Awesome. So while that poll is getting filled out, please do fill it out because it would just be very interesting to see what you guys have to say. Also, it will help to kind of direct me on how we can kind of continue this conversation as well, even more in depth. So now you know a couple of these lead magnet types. What do I mean by lead magnet optimization? Well, optimization simply means making it as perfect and streamlined as possible, right? So for all the businesses and business owners, and I know there's also a couple managers who are here today, you want to learn how you can build your business, make it thrive and make it grow through a constant stream of leads. So what I mean by lead magnet optimization, you need to ensure that you are continually having a perfected lead magnet that is continually attracting the right leads at the right time and for the right products. So what I'm going to go through is actually going in, and there's the poll. Awesome. Thank you guys. If you could fill that out, that would be just so amazing. What I want to do is to make it a lead magnet optimized, it needs to continually be reviewed, analytics looked at, and really strategized. Now, I know all of you are actually probably making money. I would hope so. Making money in running your businesses. Even though you don't have a lead magnet, you don't have maybe a sales strategy, that's fine. But you could do it better. You can do it more strategized. You can do it in a manner that is going to make sure, now this is more for service-based businesses, you don't have the Karen clients who make you dread coming to work. An optimized lead magnet ensures that you are working with the clients that you want to be working with and that they are really aligned with your business. Because we all have a Karen or two, I'm sure. Now, there are a couple different ways of lead optimizations that can happen when a potential lead or a potential consumer enters a consumer sales journey, which if you don't know what a consumer sales journey, don't worry, I'm going to cover it soon. So what I thought I would do before we go any further is actually break down some examples of different ways you can nurture a lead to ensure that your follow-ups and your actual engagement with your leads are as optimized as possible. And again, if you don't know what any of these different ones that I'm going to mention very shortly are, please put it in the chat and we can go through it. An automated email follow-up sequence, a scheduled follow-up sales script, and an automated sales campaign. All three of these different lead optimizations can be done on your lead magnets. They're really easy to do, and it's something that you have to have now when you're looking at doing a lead generation campaign. You need to ensure that you are following up and nurturing your leads, because why is anyone going to buy from you if you don't nurture them? Why is anyone going to buy from you if you don't first let them know who you are? I love this analogy. One of my clients actually said it to me a little while ago when the button finally switched over for her in this is, let's pretend your clients are someone you have swiped right on in a dating app. You would never go on one date with someone and then propose to marry them. It would scare them. It would make you think that you're a psycho, and they would run away so quick. Sales is the exact same thing. You don't want to invite someone in and have a date with them and then go for the hard sell anymore. We don't like it as consumers. Since COVID has happened, our consumer competition and knowledge base has increased. People want to get to know you. They want to, put it with a dating analogy, know your likes, your dislikes, know what you like to eat, what you can't eat, where you want to live, if you want to have kids. It's the same concept when you're making sales. People want to know you. They want to know that you're a credible business, that you have social proof, that you're actually a good business to be purchasing from, that you are caring and that you're actually going to support them. People need to be nurtured now. And if you're not going to nurture them, your competitors will. And they will eventually marry that date and not you, because you've scared them off. So you want to be using these lead optimizations to make the most out of your lead generation and get the right clients that you have always dreamed of working with. Now, let me just quickly go through and see what you guys have used for lead magnets in the past. Discount code. I am shocked that more of you haven't used a discount code. Pretty much, so there's different ways of using discount codes. You know, when you go shopping in any clothing stores and they go, do you want to sign up to our membership or our newsletter list to save 10% off on today's shop? That's a lead magnet. Free shipping, that's self-explanatory. I know if I can get free shipping, I will always get free shipping when shopping online. Calendars are really great. They aren't used very often, but typically when they are offered, they're really, really helpful. Checklists, cheat sheets, they're my personal favorites. I download so many of those. Toolkits are really great, and resource lists. So I'm actually impressed with how many people have done different ones. That's really great, guys. Thank you so much for filling that out. Awesome. So I'm going to do one more slide, and then I'm going to take a quick break to answer some immediate questions that we have to ensure that before we start the really fun aspect of today, you get your immediate questions answered first. So if I haven't already convinced you why lead magnets and lead optimizations are important, let me make it extremely clear. They work. It's as simple as that, guys. They work, and they work to the point that it can completely change your business. From the moment when your consumer or potential lead signs up to your email list and gets on your website, starts looking around, this is the point when they are most excited about you as a business. They get the most butterflies, going back to that dating analogy. They need to be contacted by you. They need to be followed up. Using the excitement, officially welcoming them into your community in an automated manner that you don't have to physically be there every single time. Because again, we only have so much time in our days. You need to be able to automatically introduce yourself, your team, your company, what makes you different, what makes you special, and how you can support them like no one else. This is the secret weapon that all of the top businesses are using to gain long-term consumers, but also loyal consumers that keep coming back and spread the word about businesses just ridiculously fast. And again, remember, a returning client or customer costs less to acquire than a brand new consumer. That's the number one thing. If you take nothing out from today's session, that's the number one thing I want you to know. Now, simply put, they're important. Lead magnets and optimizations are important because they help you engage new subscribers. Again, create that brand loyalty that we all really need to focus on since post-COVID. And most importantly, helps generate sales, because the more sales you make, the more money you have, and the more impact you can make on your communities and helping people, which I don't know about you, but all of my businesses that I have ever created, I created to specifically help people and support people. So do that. Now, before I get into my fun fact time, I want to go back to Bethany and just check in to see if we have any really important questions that we should take. Let's do like maybe 3 before we continue.
Okay, I've got one from Joy here. She said that she's got multiple places where people are giving her their email addresses, which aren't connected. So she's kind of MailChimp, Teachable Students, Weebly, Book Buying. How can she or should she get them all into the one place?
So she's got, can you, Joyce or Joy?
It's Esther Joy.
Joy, okay. Do you have a CRM, which is a client relationship management software?
Do you want me to just find Joy?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can get her off mute. Sorry, I'm not sure. No, she doesn't have a CRM.
Okay, so that would be my number one thing. So when you're looking at making sales and when you're like Esther Joy, you can very easily have so many different ways leads are coming in. You need to have a CRM. There's some free ones out there, and there's some inexpensive ones that you can sign up to as well, to have all the leads come into one place. It's too hard to follow up leads everywhere. It needs to all, they can come from, 5 or 6 different ways, but then you need to either natively actually integrate into one CRM, or you can use Zapier or Zapier, however you want to say it. I say Zapier because I'm from Canada. You need to either use a Zap or use a native integration software built in from your CRM to put everything all in one place so that you can actually successfully follow them up with. Not sure what Zapier is. Zapier is amazing. Zapier is the answer to getting everything to speak with one another. So let's say you are using HubSpot, which has an amazing free CRM and marketing platform in there. Let's say you're using HubSpot. So HubSpot actually not negatively, but naturally integrates with things like Calendarly, MailChimp, WooCommerce, Shopify, so many different applications, and you can connect it. So anytime someone fills in a form or downloads a lead, they directly come into your CRM, which can then activate all follow-up sequences. Thank you, Bethany, for putting in that link. They're amazing. So Zapier, if HubSpot, let's say you're using a unknown or not as popular lead magnet option where you're getting leads, Zapier, you can go in and still connect them, typically most of the time for free, so that they still speak to each other and you can still get that lead coming from your obscure platform that you use that might be incredibly niched, and then put them into your HubSpot for those follow-up sequences to nurture those consumers. Does that make sense? Can we just get a, I'm just gonna, I just see Tula's questions here. With CRMs, are integration ClickFunnels with MailChimp the same thing? Yes. So yes and no. So ClickFunnels is amazing, but they don't have exactly the exact same CRM capabilities, but they still work, if that helps. So does that, just reading Esther's answer. I know. The extra software can be, I'm just answering Esther's question. She says, yes, that makes sense, but it's a bit overwhelming to think of yet another piece of software. I know. So I'm going to answer one more question that I know someone asked before this session, and then I'll get into my fun fact. Sometimes it's best not to do something yourself. So yes, Shannon just put in a really great CRM solution that's in there. She's just done a link that does work quite well. So sometimes when it comes to integrations in software, sometimes it's best not to do it yourself, because the way I always accumulate it too is I have a massive property. Well, not massive, but I have a large property, and I have a lot of grass. I have a lot of plants, and I have the blackest thumb you will find. The amount of time for me to learn actually about the plants I have in my backyard, how often to water them, what is a weed, what isn't a weed, because I have like a rainforest in my backyard. The amount of time for me educating myself on how to take care of all these plants and then actually taking care of all these plants, which takes realistically like 2 or 3 days a week because it's so intense. Sometimes, instead of doing it all myself and learning it all myself, it is a much better use of my time to pay someone else to do it and manage it, and me doing what I do best, if that makes sense. So yes, you can get a virtual assistant. I personally have my web development team who do all the integrations for me. I know what I want, but I don't want to specifically be sitting in Zapier doing the connections, because I know my web development team have an expert in doing that, and he can do it probably in 10 minutes, where it could take me an hour, where an hour of my time is much better spent supporting my clients. So yes, you can get a virtual assistant. There are specific virtual assistants that specialize in connections and optimizations and integrations, or you can use your web developer. Some IT people do it, but that's not really what IT people do. Instead, I would suggest to go with a VA who specializes in it, or a web developer. Awesome. Awesome. So beautiful. That is the first question and answer time. Don't worry, guys. I am going to do more throughout the session because I know it can be a very overwhelming topic that we're discussing today. So before we get into the actual 6 steps that we're going to be discussing today, I want to go over and do a bit of a fun fact time, because a lot of what I'm going to be discussing is the lead nurturing, is actually going in and talking about email subscribers and the power of emails, because let's say it, let's just address the elephant in the room. Emails aren't sexy anymore. Social media is the sexy thing to do right now. Social media is the cool thing. Getting on TikTok, doing dancing videos, doing fun little skits, that's what's fun. I hate to break it to you though, people on social media are not your leads. If Facebook or TikTok or Twitter decide to cancel your accounts tomorrow, you have nothing. Email is the second child that is amazing, and it still converts when it's done properly. That is just incredible. It is also the only digital marketing channel that you own, which means you can either delete a contact or not, but that is completely up to you. Social media, once again, I'm going to say it, you don't own those followers. You don't own those leads, not until you convert them and you get either their phone number or their email, ideally both. More fun facts. In the realm of emails, 4 billion people still depend on emails and still utilize emails on a daily basis. Moreover, 79% of the world's top marketers list email marketing as their top 3 most effective marketing channels. Still, social media might be the sexy thing, but email marketing is the consistent one that deserves to be part of your marketing mix. It doesn't have to be the only thing you're doing. Do social media. I do social media, but I don't depend on it. Just a little bursting bubbles. Now, why am I talking about email marketing and sales? I'm supposed to be talking just about sales today, right? Well, no, because you have to be able to follow up anyone who's interested in your business. You have to be able to create something that you don't have to physically be sitting at your computer to follow up and nurture those clients. An automated actual sequence is amazing, and it works when it's done properly. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how you can do it properly. All right, now, how can you actually turn a lead magnet to be optimized? How can you make a lead magnet that is optimized that will turn your leads into consumers? How can you actually do it? This is what we're going to be going through now, are 6 steps. The 6 steps are: you have to know your audience, you have to define your purpose, create your lead magnet resource, build your consumer's journey, utilize technology, which again, I will break that down for you a little bit more, and then ultimately launch your resource. So let's get into it, guys, because this is the most exciting part of the entire day today. That was all just a bit of a precursor. So let's start with step 1. Knowing your audience is the key aspect to lead generation and sales conversions. Every time I talk with my customers and my clients, we go through this, one of the first steps. And although you might think you know your customers, sometimes you're missing an important aspect that makes them different and that you can really pinpoint to support them to get those clients into repeatedly paying consumers. So what I mean by knowing your customers, I don't mean you need to break down and say her name is Sheila and she's blonde and she lives in Darwin and anything like that. I don't mean that, guys. What I mean is that you need to understand your consumer. You need to understand what they do, what are they interested in? Most importantly, what are their pain points and how can you help them? You need to know these things. You need to break them down, because if you don't break them down, you're not able to accurately support them. Not all leads are the same. You need to ensure that even when a lead magnet comes in and someone has downloaded your resource, you need to even segment them. I segment all of my clients depending on the stage of their business and the location that they're in. So that I don't accidentally assume they're in a larger stage of their business than they are, and that I don't accidentally call up one of my leads. I'm in New South Wales time at 9 a.m. to someone in WA where that is an unacceptable time for me to be calling them. You need to ensure that you understand your consumers so that you can support them better. Remember, lead magnets are all about providing free ways that you can support your consumers. You need to understand them. Step 2 is that you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You need to know the purpose of the lead magnet. Now, no, the purpose of your lead magnet is not to sell something. The purpose of your lead magnet is to specifically help your consumers in a specific way. So let's go in and tell you how you can define the purpose of your lead magnet. What you need to do is ask yourself, what do your clients need help with? What is going to help you to help them? How are they going to take action to allowing you to help them? So, for example, let's use today as an example. Today's webinar is a lead magnet, right? You gave us a little bit of information to attend this session, and in return, I'm giving you this intense amount of information on how you can make more sales in your business. That is the exchange that we're doing. That is my purpose. But As an additional purpose, I'm giving an extra bit of information. One was your free handout that has a call to action at the end of the handout that you can complete. And for those of you who stay on for the remainder of this session, you are going to receive another gift at the end of the session, which is going to help on one of these things I'm going to be asking for in exchange for you guys attending and getting all of this amazing free information. So, the purpose of creating your free lead magnet. Are you wanting to book in a free meeting request with them? Are you wanting to get additional information from them? Let's say you're offering a free quote and you need to actually have the information about them to quote for them. Let's say the free lead magnet is to specifically get an online purchase or an engagement letter signed, which is very unlikely. Is it to get an invoice payment, feedback request, speaking contribution request? What is the purpose? Why are you wanting your consumer to have this resource besides being lovely human beings that you are? What is the purpose? What action are they supposed to be taking post-download? Once you know your client's pain points, you understand what specific pain point you can give to your consumer in a free manner, and you know what you want them to do once they receive this resource, it's time now to create your lead magnet. When creating your lead magnet, you need to break down how you are going to give it to your consumers. Is it going to be a downloadable document? Is it going to be video content? Is it going to be an email series? Is it going to be a webinar? What is it going to be? Plan that out. Now, additionally, I'm going to go through that quick list that I did earlier to give you that inspiration. A webinar is something that you spend the most time doing because you actually have to present it. A mini guide can be downloadable, industry report downloadable, ebook downloadable, template downloadable, samples have to be mailed, training videos can be automated and downloadable or clickable, case studies can be right on your website, quizzes need to be built into your website, surveys built into your website, polls built into your website. I could go on and on and on. But you need to figure out how you are going to be technically presenting your resource to your consumers. Again, this is where I'm going to talk about the concept that you don't have to do everything yourself, guys. I know one of the scariest things about sales and lead generation for business owners is that you have to learn everything and then do it. You don't. I don't do it all. Just to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't do it all. I know how to do it, but I don't do it because it's better use of my time doing what I'm doing right now, helping other businesses grow, instead of working at my back end and doing all the admin. So what I want to talk about right now is there are 100 different ways you can create resources and create lead magnets. You can use Canva, you can use Adobe Suite, you can use your website integrations, you can use so many different options. First thing you need to really sit down and be honest. Is it your best use of your time to do it yourself? Or is it a better use of your time to pay someone a couple $100 to do it, and then you never have to worry again? Now, for example, I like to be really open and honest with you guys. My lead magnets, for the first couple lead magnets, I got my graphic designer to create them for me. I created the content, dictated it out in Otter, which is amazing. Bethany, I don't know if you can, but if you could just send the link to Otter, because they have a free aspect of Otter, which is amazing, and you can dictate the information that you want. My copywriter wrote up the information for the lead magnet, graphic designer made it all pretty, then my web development team put it on my website. Now, what I've done from that, I did it for a couple of my first few ones, but now sometimes I get it done by so many other people, either internally, or sometimes if I want it done really quickly, I do it myself. Depends on how I'm feeling. And that's the whole point of being a business owner. If I feel like doing something today, I'll do it. If not, I'll get someone else to do it. But always understand if it's better for you to do it yourself or if it's really better for someone else to do it. Because I can almost guarantee how much you would spend on getting someone else to do it is cheaper in the long run. Something to keep in mind. Now, when creating your resource, you need to also remember that it's important to break down and remind the consumer in the resource who you are, what the resource is going to be about, how it's going to specifically help them, and always the next step. Always take them through the next step, like going on the date. You introduce yourself, you talk about who you are, you talk about all of your great, amazing things. But you also then, if the date goes well, plan for the next date. Go, can I see you again? I'll give you a call, I'll give you a text, or you plan the next date in that date. You always plan for the next step. Every single resource is the next step. Okay? And that is the end point of what you want that consumer to do. Do you want them to book in with you? Do they need to go in and buy something? Do they need to go in and read something? What is the next step? Now, once you've created the resource, it's time to actually ensure that you create your consumer journey. Now, this is another thing that I mentioned earlier I would explain. So let me explain. A consumer sales journey is something that so many people get scared about, and so many of my clients get immediately intimidated when I bring it up. Don't get scared. All a consumer sales journey is basically you showing your date around your house. First, you need to welcome them into the door. You need to show them, your lounge room, your kitchen, your favorite aspect about your kitchen. Because if you're anything like me, I love my kitchen and it's where I spend most of my time. Then you go and show, your backyard, your guest room. You only show them your bedroom when they are ready to be shown your bedroom. You don't just, well, you can if you want, but you don't just walk in a date and just go right to your bedroom. That would also be really shocking and really like, oh, okay, I don't get to know you anymore. I don't get to meet your dog or your cat, or you just take me right there. It's the same concept as a sales journey. So you need to create that journey. Some people also call it a sales experience or a consumer experience. It's all the same thing. What it is simply the process that you lead your consumer through to achieve your end goal, which is typically making a sale or bringing on a new client. The journey needs to cover all cognitive, sensory, and behavioral consumer responses that are experienced in the different stages of the consumption process, which simply just means you need to introduce them and really address each aspect of the point they are going through at each sections of their sales journey. You need to ensure that you are understanding the different stages of a sales journey as well, which is the awareness stage, pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase stages. These consumer journeys, again, you don't have to create them, But when you do create them, oh my goodness, your results are so much better. Specifically because you can break down exactly what you're offering, who you're targeting, to ensure that their mental and even physical experience of getting to know your business and wanting to work with you is a positive one, and it will create an ideal and loyal consumer. So let me go through the stages with you. When creating a consumer sales journey, you want to ensure that you're covering the awareness stage, your consideration stage, and then the decision stage. When doing that, you need to ask the same questions over and over and over again, because each stage, the answers are going to be different. Questions are, what is your consumer thinking or feeling? What action does your consumer need to take? What and where is your consumer researching? This will help you really navigate and streamline how your consumer is going to digest your actual lead magnet, and how they will go from the lead magnet and automatically through your follow-ups go to the sale. Now, this is a bit more advanced, so I am going to share, as long as you guys finish the rest of this session with me, a way that you can do this with a lot of guidance. Don't worry. Once you've created your consumer journey, it's now time to connect that scary word of technology to ensure it's optimized and streamlined so that you don't really have to do anything. What I mean by this is you have to create the landing page. Okay, well, first you have to have a website. Then you have to create a landing page, a gated way that not everyone can receive the resource until they actually create and give you their contact details. You have to have an email contact list created in your email software so that as soon as they download that, they go directly into the correct email list to get the email sequence. And then you need to have everything exactly connected. So for example, on my website, I have basically 2 different kinds of lead magnets that I offer, because in the Growth Manager, we are a mentoring-based business, but we offer DIY versions for people who either want to DIY their business growth, or for people who can't quite afford to work one-on-one with us because they're just starting out. So what we do is we have growth hacks, which are 100% free resources that you can download and gain instant access. Then we also have our growth guides, which are paid growth guides that come with video mentoring to walk you through the resources that you can instantly gain access to, but you have to pay to gain access to them. For all of these, they're all on my website. You add to cart, you check out, so you give your information to me, and then you instantly get emailed those resources, and then you instantly get put into my email contact list that instantly automates the follow-up email sequence. And it's all connected from my WordPress website to my email and CRM campaign software that I use, which I use Active Campaigns. And I'll explain a little bit why I use Active Campaigns further on. So you need to make sure that it has the landing page, your gated system, your contact list, your email sequence, and that everything is seamlessly connected. Because with all of those different ways, I'm not involved at all. All of that happens without me, and it's amazing. It saves me so much time. And it also ensures that if I'm not working or I'm busy doing something like this, you don't have to wait to receive the resource. So congratulations. At this point in your steps, you have created, you know your target, you know what the purpose of the lead magnet is. You've created your lead magnet, you've created your sales journey, you've connected everything with technology, or you've paid someone to connect everything with technology. Now it's officially time to launch your resource to the masses. Now, this is a really important step, and it's something that a lot of business owners don't do. You create a resource, you put it on your website, and then you complain that you're not getting any traction. That's because you need to launch it. You need to tell people it's there. The concept of build it and they will come is never happening again online, guys. It's never happening again, especially since COVID. No one can actually do the build it and they will come concept. You have to tell people, you have to promote it, you have to celebrate it to gain people's attention. So this is where you use digital marketing as your best friend and actually promote your lead magnet to attract your consumers. You can do this by using different marketing channels, social media, podcasts, whatever you want to do. You can create blogs, you can add and create stories, reels, TikToks, whatever you want to do. You need to have a strategy, but you can do whatever you want to do. You can do video marketing, you can do pay-per-click ads, and you can get featured on podcasts. Again, this is a lead magnet. So how did you guys discover this presentation today? How were you informed? Rarebirds and I both did a different kind of email marketing. I email marketed to my database. They email marketed to their database. They put it on their social media. I put it on my social media. I did a couple reels to promote it. I put it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I put the concept on LinkedIn. I put the concept on TikTok. Rarebirds did the same for their platforms. There's so many different ways that you can promote your lead magnet. I don't know about Rarebirds, but I didn't pay for any advertising for this event. I just used all organic advertising. So you don't have to spend money on promoting your lead magnets. They're free. Try and make them as simple as possible, but as valuable as possible for your consumers. So, can you believe it? We've gone through the 6 steps to creating an optimized and conversion-focused lead magnet. Let me go through them again, because I know I talked a lot today. You need to know your audience. You need to define your purpose. You need to create your resource, build your consumer journey, utilize technology, and then launch your campaign. If you do this for every single promotion and lead magnet that you create, every single time, you will get results. I promise you. And I can promise you because I do it. And I do it for my clients. And it works every time. It's amazing. It's amazing how simple those 6 steps can positively impact and completely change your business. And the best thing of all, it takes the pressure off of selling for you. It sells with inbound marketing. People are coming to you for you to help them. It's amazing. Now, I know we're now at 12:13. Today's session is supposed to end at 12:15. So what I want to do is just let you know that nothing is final. Consumer behavior in your business is going to continually change as the world changes. With COVID, I think everyone knows now that you can never count on anything to go as planned. It's something that you want to make sure you're able to be prepared for. You need to be able to feel supported and optimized. So what I want to do today is I'm going to put the offer in the chat, and Bethany, if you can pop the offer into the actual offered section of today's session, that would be amazing. what I'm going to be offering is giving you guys our brand new growth guide that we have created specifically about this topic of creating lead magnets to create qualified conversions for your business. What we're going to be doing, and it's something I never do, so I'm actually really excited about. I'm doing it specifically because I am a mentor at Rare Birds and I love what they are doing and I love the community they have created. So I want to go in and offer you guys 50% off of our guide to lead magnets. In this guide, you get video training from me breaking down every step of the way. You get the mentoring to go along with it. You get the breakdown of really accurately nailing down your target market, your offerings, your sales journey, creating a really, really well done lead magnet itself. Then going in and actually learning how to promote it takes you through all of the 6 steps that we have already given you in our lead magnet resource that you received at the beginning of this session. This is amazing. Again, we don't usually do this. It's really, really fantastic. Best thing, all you have to do is click the link that's included in the offer and enter in RARE50 to get the 50% off. You can also go into our free section of our website, which is the growth hacks, where you can see the ridiculous amount of lead magnets that I have. We are really big at giving as much information as possible to business owners. Again, it's why I created the Growth Manager. So I have created a ridiculous amount of lead magnets on a variety of topics to ensure that I'm answering questions and supporting my community through a free way and free channel to ensure you get the most out of it. Now, we were going to be going in and doing a hot seat today. We only do have 15 minutes left of this session. So what I'm just going to do really quick is I want you guys to kind of let me know. Maybe Bethany, you can put this in a poll. Would you rather do a hot seat example of a lead magnet breakdown and creation, or would you like me to spend the next 15 minutes answering questions? Let me know, because I am here to support you guys. While you're letting me know which one you would rather, I'm just going to go in this PowerPoint as well that is going to be sent out with you with the recording of this session. Is you will be able to connect with me, gain instant access to this resource, use the coupon code, and you can connect directly with me. I'm always here to help support you guys. So please feel free to either email us directly at thegrowth@thegrowthmanager.com. Go to our website. We also have a Facebook group that you can find in our website, or you can just find me on socials. I'm everywhere. You can Google me, Angie Martin. I show up everywhere, or you can Google the Growth Manager and you'll find all of our socials there as well. So please feel free to contact me. Again, I'm a Rare Birds mentor. I love what they're doing, and we both want to see you guys succeed. All right, let's see what the results of the polls. Oh, awesome. All right, so right now looks like we're going to do a hot seat. So can we do a poll again, really quick poll again, Bethany? Would you guys rather a service-based hot seat example or a product-based hot seat example? Let's do that one really, really quick. All right, everyone come in and answer the question as soon as possible so we have the time to do the hot seat example. Give you 30 seconds more. All right, looks like service-based. So let me see. I do have someone I was going to ask specifically. Lynn Lee. Lina Lee. Are you here today? Please pop up and say hello.
Hey, Angie, I don't think Lynn is in at the moment.
No.
But we could just ask for a show of, or anybody to say in the chat whether they'd like to talk.
Actually, let's do that. Who's ever coming up first?
Esther jumped in before we even did the shout out.
Done. Let's do Esther.
Okay.
If you can have her join.
Okay, Esther, I think I've just kind of sent you an invite to join. So you'll have to give us the thumbs up.
Hello, Esther. Welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you.
Awesome. So give me your 1-minute pitch of what your business is.
I educate aromatherapists and natural therapists about the science behind essential oils and how they work.
Very, very cool. Awesome. And what's your business name?
Essential Oil Education with Dr. Joy.
Oh, I love that. I love it when it's Dr. Joy. It just makes it so much fun. Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful. So immediately I Googled you and your LinkedIn came up right away, which is awesome. Always a good sign. I always like to do a bit of a test. So Esther, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through really quickly the 6 steps to creating an optimized lead magnet that I gave you guys at the very beginning of it. So before I can actually go in and tell you what kind of resource would be the most appropriate for you in your business, can you tell me a little bit about your consumers and what they're like, what their problems are, so that I can get a little bit of an understanding of what their main pain point is?
Okay. As far as I know, the people who are interested and who sign up for my courses and my online stuff are aromatherapists who have studied a while ago and they've practiced in their business and they feel stumped by how to find out what's the evidence base for their practice. And quite a lot of them are nurses as well, or they work in healthcare settings with doctors and other sort of health professionals. So they don't know how to find the information that will support their practice. And a lot of the books out there don't give them the scientific evidence that their other colleagues want them to have.
Okay, so just to confirm, they're wanting to find the 7 scientific evidence to show their colleagues or their clients?
That's right.
Their colleagues?
Both.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Sweet, I can work with that. So the next step in there is we need to define your purpose. If you were to create a resource that helps to clarify where they can go to find this information, what would be the end result you would eventually want them to take to work with you?
So you're saying what sort of resource would I create?
So no, I'm gonna tell you the resource that I would create for you. But what action, once they get the resource, what action would they take to work with you after getting the resource and going, oh, this is all just too hard, I need help?
They would sign up for my course, which is called Mastering the Rabbit Hole.
Oh, love that. That's so cute. Now, Mastering the Rabbit Hole, before someone buys the course, is there any in-between step of you talking to them and having like a discovery call?
I have used that in the past, and sometimes that's been really helpful. But my main issue has been getting enough people to see the ad or to see the offer. Okay. You know, I have a Facebook page and LinkedIn as well, which I'm not very skillful with. But yes, I think what I got from your lecture today was I don't nurture people when they join in. I don't nurture them. I just let them join in, and they can if they want.
Yeah. So what I would suggest for you, we're now in this step where we've determined that your audience needs help to where to find the resources to present them to their colleagues and their customers. The purpose of the lead magnet is to educate them in this. And also what I'm going to do is the next step is having that discovery chat with them before they buy, because you want to make sure it's the right thing for them and that they get to know you a little bit more. So now it's time to create the resource. Now there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can either do a free, I would do 15 or 30-minute automated webinar that they can download and watch over and over on your website. So what you can do is you can have an entire section on there where it's you giving your top 5 tips to how they can find this information and then give it to their consumers. Or you can create a resource similar to the one I gave you today, where it is the maybe 5 steps of finding and distributing the information, or you're just 5 tips of finding this information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so either a video or a PDF, or maybe both.
Oh, you could definitely do both. I'm a big believer in giving as much free information as you possibly can, because the more information, yes, you're always going to get the people who only will ever use your free information, but you'll also get the people who are diehard believers. And even though they might not use your paid information, they might tell someone else who will. And by the time they do come in to buy from you, they are already sold that they know this information is going to be exactly what they need. They already know this is exactly what's going to help solve their problem, which will ensure that you get the best amount of reviews possible, best feedback, and actual results.
Yeah.
So we're going to create, in our hypothetical example, a 15 to 30-minute webinar that they can download and watch on your website, or a resource that they can download. The reason I'm saying a webinar that's pre-filmed and can be consumed at any time is that your specific kind of consumer database are busy. They work a lot. So they'll be reviewing this content at random points of the day.
They will.
It makes it easier to consume, to work around their schedule, than force them to work in yours.
Absolutely. Most of my clients are in America.
Another really good example. Yeah. We want it to be automated. So to do this, you need to start creating social media. You need to take them through your journey, right? So you need to email them, allowing them to know that you've created this resource. You need to welcome them in, see the resource, absorb it, learn why it's important, have them download it, and then have that follow-up sequence to nurture them and make sure that that resource or that webinar has actually answered their questions. Because if they've downloaded it and it's not answered their questions, there's a problem with the resource, or a problem with the messaging that we haven't properly explained what the resource is. Then you need to upload it to the website. You need to connect everything, or pay someone else to connect it. There's no problem with that, because you use Teachable and everything. I would just get someone else to do it, because Teachable can be a bit annoying with connections. But that's what I would do.
Okay.
Then you need to launch it. Again, you need to promote it. You need to tell people about it. If you have a referral clientele that you talk with a lot, other professionals in your industry, which I'm sure you do, your industry has a lot, you all can help each other. Start telling people and tell them to tell other people as well. That's a really great way of doing it. All right. We have 2 minutes, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for using me, letting me use you as your guinea pig. Esther, it was, feel free, once you do create it, send it through to me and I'll have a review of yours.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. I love your industry. It's so much fun because there's not many people actually doing this kind of marketing in this kind of simple strategy. So
cool.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. So we are nearly done, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around with me for the full hour and a half. I know it was a lot of information. And thank you so much for looking at supporting your consumers in a way that's going to really positively help them immediately. It's really amazing. Now, just a quick question to Bethany. I know there's been a lot of questions that haven't been answered. Is there a way I can get them emailed and then I can contact the attendees to answer them?
Yeah, I'm sure we could do something like that. I could even just have a link in our next newsletter or something for anybody who wanted to see those questions answered.
Yes.
We'll manage something.
Yeah, that would be amazing because you guys all have amazing questions. I just have run out of time. But thank you so much, everyone, for attending.
Well, thanks for being here, Angie. It was great.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks to everybody else too. And we'll hopefully see you for our last mentor deep dive of the year, which is Thursday, the 9th of November. It will be social media ROI, and we hope to see you all there.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, guys. Definitely make sure you come. And thank you so much. And make sure to take me up on that special offer for listening to my voice for an hour and a half.
Thanks, Angie.